So what's better for action footage, 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second? The age-old question, or more specifically, what's better for track footage? Well, I started looking into this a little bit, looked around YouTube, watched different videos, and of course, you look at 5 different people, you get 5 different answers. Some say you should always shoot at 30 frames per second and only go higher if you want to slow it down. They'll tell you 30 frames per second looks more natural and the motion blur enhances the sense of speed. Others say to always shoot in the highest frame rate possible. And yet others will tell you that if you shoot above 30 frames per second, the scene starts to look fake and has a soap opera effect. So I decided to give this a shot using some recent footage from the track. And what I did is I shot 2 laps on the same day, same track, but of course slightly different times a day. So let's take a look at these. So here's some footage at 30 frames per second. And here is some footage at 60 frames per second. And now here is the 2 side by side. So what do you think? So to me, the answer is very clear. I prefer the 60 frames per second by a long shot. I definitely see the blur and the, quote unquote graininess of the 30 frames per second. But in this case, I don't think it adds much. Actually, I don't think it adds anything to the feeling of speed. And overall, I think the sense of speed in track footage isn't that great anyway. Even when you start to play with wider camera angles, as I have here, the sense of speed isn't awesome. So, and I definitely don't see the FPS changing that very much. So for me, I'm going to keep shooting at 60 frames per second. I prefer the sharper images by a long shot. But here's what I'll do. I'm going to put both laps, full screen at the end of the video. And then I'll also include the side by side. And I'd love to get your thoughts. Which one do you think looks better and why? And while I'm at it, since someone will probably ask, these were shot using a GoPro 11 Hero Black, all shot in 5.3K. And the question always becomes like, did it overheat? And the answer is no, it did not overheat at all. I think, look, you're running in an open car, open windows, the airflow is fantastic. And I would leave it on for 20 or 30 minutes with, no heating problems at all. Anyway, looking forward to seeing your comments.